All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson going into what the new covenant is, and I did a video on that in the last video that I posted, but I'm going to do another one, and this one's going to be a bit shorter, and it's just going to go into what the new covenant is, because what some people do, right, is they think that the new covenant is let me show. They think that the new covenant is this, right? So as soon as you go into the Bible, right, and you see the New Testament, they think that that's the new covenant, right? They think that the new covenant is just saying from the book of Matthew, right, all the way up to the book of 1 second. They think so. They'll say pretty much, they'll go that the new covenant is this part of the Bible, right? They'll say that that's the new covenant. These bits of pages that are dangling there, they'll say, "Oh, that's the new covenant." But what the new covenant actually is oh, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it, man, because despite what people might say, the new covenant is mentioned in the Old Testament, right? It mentions what the new covenant was going to be in the Old Testament portion of the Bible. So let me just quickly go to it. This is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So it lets you know in the Old Testament portion of the Bible what the new covenant was going to be, right? And who it was going to be for as well. Verse 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, because my covenant they break, although as a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I'll put my laws into their mind. Salakia, man. What the hell is that, man? Salakia. But this shall be the covenant that I make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So the new covenant is that the Israelites are going to get Yahweh's laws put in their mind so that they keep them always continually. It's not what these Christians try and say, where they try and say that it's where Yahweh Shai drank the wine, gave them the wine and gave them the bread. That's not what the new covenant was. That was speaking about how the new covenant was going to come into pass through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice for the sins of the Israelites. But that's not what the new covenant is. Verse 34, and they shall teach no man everyone, and they shall teach no more everyone his neighbor, and everyone his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I'll remember their sin no more. So that's what the new covenant is, right? Now, when you go to the New Testament portion of the Bible, what that's letting you understand is all the things that are going to have to come to pass, and the process of what already has happened in order to make the new covenant come to effect, right? So Yahweh Shai has died, right, for the sins of the Israelites, and that's caused for the covenant to be under the grace period, right? For people to be under the grace period through his blood covering the sins. But then in order for it to actually be fulfilled completely, Yahweh Shai has to return in his second coming, right? Let me prove a quick point on that. Because Yahweh Shai is the one that's going to change people and bring them under the new covenant. This is Philippians chapter 3 and verse 20. For our conversations in heaven, from which also we look for the Savior, the Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So that's regarding him changing the people that the new covenant is for, which is the Israelites, and bringing them under that ability to keep those things that are written in Yahweh's laws and be under that new covenant. Because part of the new covenant is being changed. And the only people that are going to be changed and be able to receive God's laws within them and receive perfection and be free from death are the Israelites. No other nation has been promised that new covenant I mentioned in Jeremiah 31. And when you go to Hebrews, the 8th chapter, it lets it be reconfirmed that it's still only for the same people, because Hebrews, the 8th chapter, isn't rewriting nothing new. It's just already establishing something and going over something again and repeating words that was already spoken from ancient times, right? This is Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. For this is the covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I'll be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. So it's the same thing again, right? So if you want to know what the new covenant is, all you have to do is read Jeremiah, the 31st chapter and the 31st verse, but you can read the whole chapter. And if you want to know what the new covenant is again, and back it up in the in the New Testament portion of the Bible, right? All you have to do is read Hebrews, the 8th chapter. And the word testament and the word covenant are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. So saying the New Testament is no different than saying the New Covenant. But what the New Testament portion of the Bible does is lets you know all the things that are going to have to come to pass. Plus, it also makes you know certain things that have already happened in order to be a member of that covenant, which if you're a member of that covenant anyway, it's already been decided before you was born. Let me prove that quickly. Because there's predestination within the Bible. This is John chapter 15 and verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go forth and that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. So anyone that's going to receive this, it's already been foreordained that they was going to receive it. Nobody can make themselves be of the elect. Nobody can make themselves receive these things, just like how the Israelites didn't have to do anything to make themselves be chosen, right? And just like how Abraham was chosen because Yahweh chose him, and just like how Isaac was because Yahweh chose Isaac, because Ishmael was alive. But Yahweh said, no, I'm not giving it to Ishmael. I'm gonna give it to another son that I'm gonna raise up unto you. And he gave it to Isaac. And then Esau was born before Jacob, but Yahweh gave it to Jacob and not Esau. Right? So let me go to Romans 9 as well. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 15. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So no one can make Yahweh have compassion on a man. He loves who he wants to love, and he chooses who he wants to choose. And he's already chosen everybody that's going to receive this covenant. Nobody that receives this covenant, there's not going to be no surprises in the Lord's eyes on who's going to get the covenant. He already knows who's going to receive it and who's not going to get it. This is 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 2. Elect according to the foreknowledge of Yahweh the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you. And who's that you? It's the Israelites. That's why the disciples said, will you at this time now bring the kingdom back to Israel? Because they knew that we have a kingdom coming to us. Daniel prophesied about the kingdom that the Israelites have coming to them in Daniel the 7th chapter, right? In Daniel the 2nd chapter too, he spoke about the kingdom that the Israelites are going to receive. And he even let it be known that the saints are going to take the kingdom. Verse 5, who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. So the Israelites are going to be the ones that are going to get this kingdom. The Israelites are the ones that are of the elect. The Israelites are the ones that the covenant's for. And nobody can't say that that's not the truth. So when you go to the Old Testament, right, and you read about the Old Covenant, that was clearly made with the Israelites. And they're the people that was clearly taken out of Egypt. And when you read about the New Covenant, it lets you know that it's not going to be the same as the one that they received in Egypt, meaning it's going to be new. It's going to be something different, right? And that's the lesson. I just thought I'd do a quick video because a lot of people, despite all these people that boast in their knowledge of the Bible and say that they read the Bible back and front, they're quick to tell you that they've read the Bible longer than you've been alive and all of this. When it comes to reading what the new covenant is, nobody ever explains it in this way apart from Great Millstone Israelites and anyone that believes on the doctrine that Great Millstone teach, people like myself and many other people out there that believe in Great Millstone's teachings, right? And on that, I'm going to say Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. The new covenant is where the laws of Yahweh are going to be put within a person's mind, an Israelite's mind, and cause them to live perfect and be restrained from sinning. Shalom.